Thank you very much, Julia. And welcome everybody. We may now sit together. Welcome again, Rinpoche. It's a pleasure to have you back. You might want to hit the Z key again because you are laying on the ground right now. And well, it's nice. I think we have a good group today. Welcome Karl as well. Karl is our world designer. He's been working for quite a while with us behind the scenes, and it's the first time he joins us for a session. And he brought a friend with him, which is great. And then, well, welcome everybody else back. Welcome Pure Space. I think this is your first session, Pure Space, right? All right. So it's always fun to see new faces. I think today is going to be an interesting meeting. One of the reasons for that is that VRCon is coming. So for those who don't know what VRCon is, it is a convention of all the communities in vrchat. It's the first edition. And as far as I know, there was already more than 1,000 people registered, maybe close to 2,000 now. I didn't keep up with the count. And it's going to last 3 days from Friday to Sunday. It's a 24 hours a day thing. So we have a booth there, and I try to have a little surprise every week. So this week our little surprise is the booth that Karl spent a lot of time building and optimizing. So I'm going to show you that right now. So sorry, it's a bit crappy, but I made that very fast just so that you can have an idea. So we have this space where posters have been placed for all of the activities that are getting set up. So you've seen the Sangha, and this is the library.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, me
oh.
too. It is local, probably.
Wait a second. Maybe it's because I've loaded it before you guys logged in. Just a second. I'm gonna make another attempt, and if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna share the video on the Discord with you guys.
Yeah, actually the video controls themselves are not even appearing. I think the whole player is disabled.
Oh. Let's see if that fixes it. Are you guys seeing the logo right now?
I think the toggle
only
is
the logo. Only the logo in black screen.
Yeah.
With the logo.
Okay, so now nothing is playing still? So
no, just nothing changed.
Okay, so sorry about that. The player must be local or something. I don't know why. So I will just share it on LinkedIn, not on LinkedIn. I mean on Discord with you guys. It's a little YouTube video, so it's gonna be easy to move around. So sorry that I cannot do it right now. The idea is that we have a little space. We are actually welcoming in our booth people on meditation cushions. We're receiving them over a little counter of sorts, and we will be able to tell them about all of the activities that we have in the Shoshin community. And there's even a portal to beam into the world and have a little visit. So throughout the event, we're going to try to make little world tours and get people to know what we do over here. So we expect it to bring new faces to our activities, and maybe new instructors. That would be the goal, actually, to try and rent more of the buildings that are still empty in the world. So, well, sorry for this little lunch that didn't work as good as expected.
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress. And the other thing I have to say that is very important about that is that since it's a long period of over almost 3 days, 3 full days. I'm going to split the schedule in smaller parts, like 4 hours shift. And I'm going to publish that as well on the Discord. So if you want to make yourself available for a shift and help us stand for the booth and explain to people what's happening here, especially if you're a host and you have, something that you will do here and you could talk about it to people, I would immensely appreciate that. This, as I mentioned last time, I will need to sleep a little bit in those 3 days. All right. But I'll try to be there every day anyway, most of the time, so you won't be left alone to your own devices either. All right. So today, I think Malka will read for us. Are you ready with the reading, Malka?
Yeah. So I
Good,
should
good.
go
So
there,
yes, you can join me
right?
whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You will also
Uh,
notice that there's a book now on the lectern. Unfortunately, it's not yet
oh.
activated, but soon we will be able to just click on the book and it will show the day's reading. So that's going to be a great improvement when we get there. So
Uh,
let me turn the music off and please read
I just
Buddha's Virtue.
locally lovers. Okay. I never read nothing in VR, so I guess go to other window. You can still hear me, right? Because
Yeah.
I tried to read from my oh, I see. Okay. Now this
Yes.
one. Okay. You. Oh yeah. Sorry, it's taking me time because I never. Actually, maybe there is more easy way to read things in VR. I just don't know. And never
Yes,
try.
there is something called OVR toolkit, but just go like that for now.
Uh,
It's perfectly
oh,
fine.
I found it. Okay. Yeah. The form of Buddha and his virtues. This one, right?
From
The Buddha
page
said,
Buddha's Virtue
from next page?
from page
Oh,
32.
42. Okay. Sorry,
30,
sorry.
32.
mm, 32. It's up. Okay, sorry. Taking
No
time.
problem.
Sorry. Uh, 42.
32. 32.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. The form of Buddha and his virtues. This one?
That's
Yes?
the main chapter, but there is a
Yeah.
subsection called Buddha's Virtue.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm Buddha's wisdom. Uh, mm, it's not that comfy to do it in VR. The form of Buddha and his oh, okay. Wait. I don't know how to do this yet. Um, the word chapter 5. The word is like burning house. This one maybe.
Mm,
No.
no, just
I'm
a
sorry. I'm
second.
really bad with navigation.
I'm
I'm in
opening it
page
on
50.
my side.
Yeah,
Look
I'm in
on
page 35.
at the bottom of every page, you have a little dash
Mm-hmm.
and then the page number and a little dash. So you want the page that
Mm-hmm.
says 32, 32 at the bottom, and
32.
right in the middle of the page, there is a subtitle that says 3 in Roman numbers, and it's called Buddha's Virtue.
Oh, I don't see this. I mean, I only see the number, number 34 and 32. It was the opening of this. So, oh, if somebody have this open, maybe they can exchange me because it will maybe take time
Okay.
to find it.
Julia,
So
are you
Emma
prepared?
senpai.
Yes, I'm ready. The page is 42 actually in
No, no.
her reading,
Yeah,
but I
it's
have it
because
in
it's
front of me.
42 is the reader's page, but the book's page is 32, so it's confusing. I get that.
Yeah, I don't
I
get this.
have it.
How where I.
I can also read
Okay.
if you want.
Oh well, let's do that, Mar. You've never been here, and Malka, I save you a
Let's
spot
Yes.
next
put my
time.
controller on.
I will practice at
Right.
home. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's have a look.
Well, thank you for trying, Malka.
Music.
You'll figure it out. Yeah.
Oh. Is the PDF reader here? It was, but. Oh. Choo 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 choo. Discord. Oh wait, I have been downloaded.
All right. Mara, I thought you had it open and ready. Julia is ready actually, so come in. Julia's just.
Okay, let's do that. I thought I can open it here. Last time I could, but
No.
then,
Sorry.
then I would find it that quick.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Julia.
Buddha's virtue. Buddha received the respect of the world because of 5 virtues: superior conduct, superior point of view, perfect wisdom, superior preaching ability, and the power to lead people to the practice of his teaching. In addition, 8 other virtues enable Buddha to bestow blessings and happiness upon the people. The ability to bring immediate benefits in the world through the practice of his teaching, the ability to judge correctly between good and bad, right and wrong, the ability to lead people to enlightenment by teaching the right way, the ability to lead people by an equal way, the ability to avoid pride and boasting, the ability to do what he has spoken, the ability to say what he has done, and thus doing, to fulfill the vows of his compassionate heart. Through meditation, Buddha preserves a calm and peaceful spirit, radiant with mercy, compassion, happiness, and even equanimity. He deals equitably with all people, cleansing their minds of defilement and bestowing happiness in a perfect singleness of spirit. Buddha is both father and mother to the people of the world. For 16 months after a child is born, the father and mother have to speak to him in babyish words. Then gradually they teach him to speak as an adult. Like earthly parents, Buddha first takes care of the people and then leaves them to take care for themselves. He first brings things to pass according to their desires, and then he brings them to a peaceful and safe shelter. What Buddha preaches in his language, people receive and assimilate in their own language, as if it were intended exclusively for them. Buddha's state of mind surpasses human thought. It cannot be made clear by words. It can only be hinted at in parables. The Ganges River is stirred up by the tramping of horses and elephants and disturbed by the movements of fish and turtles. But the river flows on, pure and undisturbed by such trifles. Buddha is like the great river. The fish and turtles of other teachings swim about in its depths and push against its current, but in vain. Buddha's Dharma flows on, pure and undisturbed. Buddha's wisdom, being perfect, keeps away from extremes of prejudice and preserves a moderation that is beyond all words described. Being all wise, he knows the thoughts and feelings of all men and realizes everything in this world in a moment. As the stars of heaven are reflected in the calm sea, so people's thoughts, feelings, and circumstances are reflected in the depth of Buddha's wisdom. This is why Buddha is called the perfectly enlightened one, the omniscience. Buddha's wisdom refreshes the arid minds of people, enlightens them and teaches them the significance of this world. its causes and its effects, appearings and disappearing. Indeed, without the aid of Buddha's wisdom, what aspect of the world is at all comprehensible for people? Buddha does not appear as a Buddha. Sometimes he appears as an incarnation of evil, sometimes as a woman, a god, a king, or a statesman. Sometimes he appears in a brothel or in a gambling house. In an epidemic, he appears as a healing physician, and in war, he preaches forbearance and mercy for the suffering people. For those who believe that things are everlasting, he preaches transiency and uncertainty. For those who are proud and egoistic, he preaches humility and self-sacrifice. For those who are entangled in the web of worldly pleasures, he reveals the misery of the world. The word of Buddha is to manifest in all affairs and on all occasions the pure essence of Dharmakaya, the absolute nature of Buddha. So, Buddha's mercy and compassion flow out from his Dharmakaya in endless life and boundless light, bringing salvation to all. The world is like a burning house that is forever being destroyed and rebuilt. People, being confused by the darkness of their ignorance, lose their minds in anger, displeasure, jealousy, prejudice, and worldly passion. They are like babies in need of a mother. Everyone must be dependent upon Buddha's mercy and compassion. Buddha is a father to all the world. All human beings are the children of Buddha. Buddha is the most saintly of saints. The world is afire with decrepitude and death. There is suffering everywhere, but people, engrossed in the vain search for worldly pleasure, are not wise enough to fully realize this. Buddha saw that this world of delusion was really a burning house, so he turned from it and found refuge and peace in the quiet forest. There, out of his great compassion, he calls to us. This world of change and suffering belongs to me. All these ignorant, heedless people are my children. I am the only one who can save them from their delusion and misery. As Buddha is the great king of the Dharma, he can preach to all people as he wishes. Buddha appears in the world to bless the people, to save them from suffering. He preaches the Dharma, but the ears of people are dulled by greed and they are inattentive. But those who listen to his teachings are free from the delusions and the miseries of life. People cannot be saved by relying on their own wisdom, he said, and through faith they must enter into my teaching. Therefore, one should listen to the Buddha's teaching and put it into practice.
Thank you very much, Julia. All right. So we did manage to read that teaching. So after the cosmic voyage that we undertook in the last few sessions, looking at the universal nature of the Buddha, today we seem to be back to something more accessible to humans. Today's teaching describes how excellent the Buddha is and how he does his work in the world. To me, it serves as a great inspiration on how to become a better teacher and how to help others in significant ways. Instead of interpreting the text verse by verse as I usually do, this time I think I will focus on the virtues that were named there to see if we can find some deeper meaning to the fleeting words that were used. So let's start with the very first word, the very first significant word that was used, respect. It is not mentioned as a virtue of the Buddha, but as something that he receives from the people. But it's interesting to me because it is also a word mentioned in many ethics textbooks and in an incredible amount of songs and in our pop culture. We use it daily. But what is respect? So, respect comes from the prefix re, which means again, and the Latin verb specio, which means to see. So, respetio or respect happens when you see something or someone so peculiar that you have to look twice because you are captivated. A respectful attitude is therefore one that recognizes that something or someone is uniquely special and valuable to the world. So if we look with the right eyes, this is what we should see in everybody, not only in the Buddha. And that being said, this uniqueness is easier to perceive in some beings than others. We just have to be willing to find it and actually take the time. But we should really have a sense of respect for everybody and everything. Afterwards, the book mentions superior conduct. That's kind of a loaded expression, right? What is superior conduct? So it is acting creatively in such a way that your intelligence and your heart are connected and effortlessly led by your wisdom. It is when you are not in reaction mode, but are instead fully aware of what is going on inside and outside of you, and then proceed to dance with it. Ironically, superior conduct often means doing nothing and saying nothing. It's a good topic to think about. The superior point of view mentioned in these scriptures is the same as the right view from the Noble Eightfold Path that we will soon begin to study. In fact, this reading that we've done today was the last one about the first jewel, was the last one about the Buddha. Now we move on to the second jewel, which is Dharma, which is really like the heart of the teachings. And so right view is not a way of looking with our eyes, but rather a way of understanding our world. In a nutshell, the right view, according to Buddhism, has a lot to do with perceiving our interconnectedness, and that any line drawn to separate and divide us is just an illusion. So, just like the American natives that evaluated their present actions by the effect it would have on the 7 generations to follow, to look at the world from this point of view brings about a different kind of living standards. You just have a wider view. Superior preaching ability concerns mainly the ability to use the right metaphors and to tell stories that listeners can relate to. But it could also be argued that the Buddha also preaches through his example, and that he also uses many living symbols in the world to convey his message. If we consider that everything in the world is in fact a manifestation of the Buddha, then his preaching ability is truly extraordinary and limitless. Then there is the power to lead people to practice as the last of the 5 virtues that were first described. Now, leadership is a topic that I know well and that I could probably speak about for an extended period of time. But don't worry, I won't do that. I think here we are mostly referring to the magnetic quality of a good leader. People are naturally attracted to them and want to follow them. So it's usually because of one or all 3 of the following reasons. 1, they know what they are doing. 2, they make people feel good. And 3, they do things differently. Over the years, I have come to sum these 3 principles under the slogan, I can, I care, I dare. So you will find that the people that marked human history had often mastered all 3, and the Prince Siddhartha Gautama was no exception. Then the text follows with 8 more virtues. The first one is the ability to bring immediate benefits in the world through the practice of his teaching. So Buddha is a vessel for enlightened action and is therefore in perfect harmony with the world, bringing what is needed where it is needed. But the Buddha's central teaching is about the cessation of suffering. So it follows that the suffering people who do put his teachings in practice receive immediate relief from it. It is like medicine. In a way, it removes the headache of humanity. So the ability to judge correctly between good and bad was another ability mentioned, and I think it is a consequence of the right view. Once you properly understand the situation of the world, you can make appropriate decisions about it. So most importantly, when you understand that everything is one, you understand that whatever you do to people, nature, and man-made objects even, you are actually doing upon yourself. The ability to teach the right way to enlightenment is pretty much self-explanatory. Still, I remember that in one of the early sessions, somebody had asked me if there were any other paths that could lead to enlightenment. And my answer to this question was yes. There are enlightened yogis, Jews, Christians, Muslims, scientists, and regular people. The Buddha's teaching is one of those methods that prove very effective at opening the eyes of a multitude of people. Then there is to lead all people with an equal way. And that means that the Buddha's teaching has a strong universal quality. It rings true to a lot of us. And maybe you have felt that already yourself. A lot of people report that something connected deeply inside of them the very first time that they came into contact with the Buddhist teachings. So this special ability to connect with others comes from self-knowledge. The proverbial know thyself, that's on the temple in Greece, and understanding how the human mind is put together. It is the recognition that we are pretty much all made from the same building blocks and that we all go through the same fears, desires, and frustrations in life. So Buddha, it is said, avoids pride and boasting. What is there to be proud of if we are one? What is there to boast about if we are not competing? Pride and boasting come from a fundamental anxiety, a fear of the separation that we perceive. It is a survival instinct of sorts. But a Buddha does not feel threatened by the world, so he doesn't have to show others that he can win at life. He simply lives according to his own nature in the same way that a tree trees and a cat cats. The Buddha has the ability to do what he has spoken, which is probably much easier to achieve when one does not boast. The Buddha moves with what Taoists call Wu Wei, or effortless action, which is a state of exertion devoid of any kind of suffering, especially devoid of counterproductive mental chatter. So it is doing all kinds of chores without ever postponing them, simply because they are necessary. It is built on wisdom, on the wisdom of one taste, precisely, where the task does not feel better or worse than any other task. And then the ability to say what he has done is a privilege reserved to achievers, isn't it? Actions speak louder than words, and Buddhas tend to act more than they speak. The last of these eight virtues is more like the consequence from all of the other ones. The ability to fulfill the vows of his compassionate heart is therefore what happens when you have all of these great qualities. You become able and qualified to lead others to enlightenment. So qualified that Buddha's words are still doing it 2,500 years later. It is also a lesson in personal achievement. A lot can indeed be accomplished effortlessly when one sees clearly and develops the right means. The paragraph is dedicated to Buddha's equanimity, which I guess is a reflection of contentment. One does not have to agree with everything in this world, but one does need to learn to welcome and handle anything that happens wisely. It is impossible to trigger and manipulate a Buddha against his will, and he creates space between events and himself. I think we are mostly done with the enumerations. I hope this was not too boring. I know it's a lot of condensed stuff there. And I hope it gave us a sense of how a Buddha operates in the world, how many Buddhist teachers try to operate as well. The real challenge is to remain that virtuous all of the time. We all have bad habits and they tend to sneak up on us. We need to be careful. There is a phrase that says, "He first brings things to pass according to their desires, and then he brings them to a peaceful and safe shelter." When our daughter was just a baby, it was very difficult for us to get her to eat anything. We would try dozens of options and she would reject everything. She would go into these periods where she would only eat apples every day and nights for weeks. And then she would reject it completely to do the next 3 weeks exclusively on bananas, which drove us bananas. Sometimes the things that she ate were not that healthy, but we had decided to give just whatever she wanted because eating something was better than nothing at all, we thought. So we were very worried that she wouldn't get all of the nutrients that her body needed and saw some doctors about it. But since she was so small, we had no real way to communicate with her. We just accommodated her desires until she was old enough to understand. And then we gradually proceeded to change her diet. Well, in the end, everything went fine. Our daughter is healthy, and it was just a scare. So this little story, I think, illustrates very well how Buddha works, how a good teacher should work. Most often, people would walk to a Buddha and being quite deluded, and they don't know that, and maybe they're not ready to understand it. There are some people that visit the psychologist and tell stories about how everybody in their life is bad, wrong, and mistreating them. These people are often looking for appreciation and confirmation of their own self-worth. And they are still too fragile to be taught that to be taught appropriately. And well, the therapist needs to be patient, with some confidence and trust before he can really start making a difference. So if they're not completely passive, they kind of tend to agree with the patient a lot in the beginning, so that they build that confidence. On the other hand, if the therapist keeps on feeding the patient's delusion, isn't he just an enabler, feeding an addict? So if it takes a lot of time, it also takes a lot of skills to know when you can make a dent in somebody's suffering. That's really one of the most important wisdom of the Buddha. In a previous session, we spoke about that special feeling that you get when you reach the top of a mountain, how it was impossible to put in words. Well, in the same way, it was said today that the Buddha's mind surpasses all human thoughts. It is a blissful state that you could experience right here and right now, if you could only just snap out of your mind. Try that sometimes. It could be the foundation of a fulfilling life. Buddha's Dharma is like a river that keeps on flowing no matter what gets in its way. Learn to be like water too. It is much easier to go with the flow than to swim against the current. Do you experience a resistance somewhere in your life right now? Take a second to think about it. And then if you do, make sure that you are swimming in the right direction. You will have a lot more energy available to you. Parts of today's teaching was mostly focused on the nature of wisdom. Specifically, it was said that the Buddha's wisdom was all-encompassing and free from extremes, that it contained every human thought and every emotion. What makes such a broad view wiser? Well, don't you have a better idea of what water is once you have known it in its solid and vaporous and liquid states? Once you have related to it in your shower, in a creek, in a river, and in the seven seas. It is much more probable that you will emit a valid judgment about something once you know all of the facts. The Buddha, however, knows that beyond the facts, there is something that will forever remain hidden from the human mind, and therefore refrains from judging. Then in the same part, the significance of the world was brought up in terms of causes and effects, appearings and disappearings. What is the meaning of a world that is constantly changing, if not change itself? Some say change is bad. Some say it is good. Politicians build campaign on change. But Buddha simply says change is. In every theistic religion of the world, I have heard people wondering, but if God is so good, how come he allows evil to exist? Or if he is so powerful, why won't he destroy the devil? They ask. So I thought it was refreshing to hear that the Buddha sometimes appears as the incarnation of evil, or as a gambling man, or in a brothel. Yes, even wretched people serve their purpose in our world. Beggars and freeloaders give us the opportunity to be generous. Abusers and murderers demonstrate the dangers of losing our sanity. Everything that we see is a different aspect of our universe, and therefore a little piece of God himself, if you so choose to name his suchness. Over and over again, we read in the scriptures that people get in trouble because they are ignorant. And I am not sure if I have ever conveyed appropriately what this ignorance is truly about before. The usual way that we think of an ignorant is the way that we think about an unlearned, uneducated person. It is somebody that doesn't know many facts. Probably somebody that is not very curious and that doesn't read much. Maybe even somebody that is a tad naive. But ignorance in Buddhism is quite different. It is being ignorant of one thing and one thing only, the cause of your own suffering. This ignorance makes you completely oblivious to the fact that you are doing it. You are causing suffering to yourself and nothing else in the world. So although it is only one thing, it is kind of a big deal. It is very heavy in consequences because if you don't understand what is causing your pain, yeah, you just keep on doing it. It's a little bit like drinking vinegar every day and wondering why your stomach is aching. If you're not clear about how you cause suffering for yourself in your life, or think that you do not, I strongly suggest that you start exploring this question deeply, as it is a very important one. Part of the text tells us about the Buddha's renunciation to this world and how he found peace in the forest. In fact, this entire world for the Buddha looks like a vacation to Las Vegas. He sees people walking into casinos and just knows that most of them will walk away broke after indulging in pleasures that will cause guilt and remorse. Homes will be wrecked. People will end their lives. Substance abuse, unhealthy relationships, and mismanagement of resources happen all the time, and they have tragic consequences. Although people try to keep these frivolities on the low side, the awakened ones see them in neon lights wherever they look. In conclusion, if we have the eyes to see, the very least we could do is to help ourselves. And by becoming a better person, well, let's say a person that suffers less and feels better, we will be making a positive difference in the world right away. Then, when we are less concerned with our own suffering, maybe we too will develop these wonderful abilities that would allow us to do the work of a Buddha. That is it for today. Thank you for your time. Any question or commentary?
Yeah.
Yes, please, Malka.
Yeah, you go first.
Pema Jordan say that if you feel like you hate some people or you feel like some people been causing you suffering, right? Emma knows better Pema Jordan than me. But you're supposed to send them empathy and to like send them like full empathy of what they are and what they've been through, and when you are able to empathize them, you getting free of this chain that can hurt you on mental level because you by yourself hate some people. So like if we are reflecting of ourselves, how we can do this better?
Um, are you saying how we can free our like how can we forgive ourselves, or are you asking me how we can free ourselves from the people we hate or that we feel uneasy around?
Yeah, like by what I understand from your book that we've been reading a little bit, when you feel bad about other people that you know it's like you have your own faults of what they are, so you need to feel compassion toward them and send them compassion and do meditation towards the compassion toward their state and how you wish them to get more like more more
All right.
more well in spiritual being. But I don't really remember actually. But that's why I ask
Okay.
because uh
So
it's like
yes,
topic.
I will try and answer. Once I was in a car with somebody, a woman who told me that something had happened with her father and that she had never forgiven her father. And so I asked, "Why didn't you?" And she said, "Well, what he did was terrible, and he doesn't deserve my forgiveness." And in that case, the father was living in another country. It was very, very far. And I said, "Well, you don't forgive somebody else for their sake. uh, you forgive somebody else for your sake. You are still thinking about it. You are still suffering from it. You are still holding on to this event that happened so many years ago and to an image of a father that is not even anywhere close. So you are the one still carrying the deed, basically. So if you manage to truly forgive somebody, then you won't have to look back to this. And by releasing the memory and the pain, you will restart living appropriately, right? So I would say the same is true about somebody that hurts us. As long as we're dwelling on the hurt, and especially if we're dwelling on the loneliness and the aloneness of it, like if we start asking, why did they do that to me? Why me? What have I ever done to them? And things like that. These bring great feelings of isolation. So as long as you dwell on that, you suffer. Um, I prefer to ask why not and move on. Why not me? Why wouldn't this happens to other people? You know, why not me? Why not now? It just happened. And then you can free the eight and move on. Once you have done that psychologically, then you can revisit the person and revisit the event and say, oh, maybe they were stressed. Maybe they were educated in such a manner that they don't know better. Maybe you can find all kinds of justification for them. And this, of course, will help you be a little bit more compassionate for their own uh, situation. What it does is that it removes their power to hurt you. And then once they don't have any power to hurt you, it's like looking at a child or at an animal, right? You are the caretaker. They're not the caretaker of you. You're the caretaker of them. So once you have that mental position, it is much easy to love the people and treat them well. Does that answer the question, Magda?
Yeah, thank.
All right. I think Mar, you had something to say as well.
Yeah, about the water going with the flow. So I don't like to go with the flow. I like to change things for the better. But people are holding it back. So they don't like change because they are a bit older or in some kind of routine. So that's a bit hard to do. And yeah, some people think they doing it right now good. So it's a little bit yeah, how to say it. I'm bad with words, so you can't really convince them.
I understand. And, you know, people, just like life in general, are processes. And they might not be ready right now to hear what you have to say. But it doesn't mean that they will never be ready. Um, and believe me, Mar, I've been doing large, big scale implementations in businesses with hundreds of people all my life. I know how change works and how it can traumatize people, but I also learned that it is very efficient and important to work with the flow. Because if you arrive and you are very strong with your ideas, you will create a proportionally strong reaction, and it will erect walls and barriers. Uh, I think there the Asian culture has a lot to teach us because they're very patient. So what I tend to do is I tend to be quiet a lot in the beginning when I have a big change to implement. I tend to listen a lot to people, their fears, their insecurities, their priorities. And then this is going with the flow, actually building a plan that will maybe bring about the positive change that you want to see, but by taking everybody else's considerations into account. So that way you can move both towards your goal and with the river. instead of being just a rock right in the middle of it, or a dam. So I think it's not, water moves smoothly, and it should be redirected smoothly as well. There's no point in trying to just block the river and have it shift 90 degrees right away in another direction. I think your aspirations and your intentions are noble about the changes that you want to bring, but just try to observe more, try to be more patient about it, and you will find that you have a lot more success in bringing about change in your life. Does that work for you?
Yes, thank you.
Right. Anybody else? Okay. How's everybody's practice? You guys keep on practicing when you're off the Sangha? You manage to do a little bit of meditation at home?
Sometimes.
Who does? Yeah, a few. All right. That's a goal, right? Sangha is there to bring us back on track when we slip. But there's nothing really like a daily practice, or even better, a practice of every moment. I mention that from time to time, but you know, the shamatha thing that we do, where we bring our mind back to our peace, to our breath, time and time again. You can do that in daily life. I used to have a little alarm on my cell phone that would ring randomly or every hour, and when I heard the little bell, or when I saw it vibrate, I knew it was just a signal to do 30 seconds of introspection and bring my mind back where it belonged. So if you don't sit formally, I suggest you try to implement something like that. It will really keep the stress away from you during daily life if you manage to do that. All right. So, Rinpoche, I'm just curious, is there something that you wanted to share with us today? I don't want to miss the opportunity to benefit from your wisdom and experience.
Well, there is always a lot that can be said. One of the points you tackled is extremely important, and it concerns the necessity to really bring the practice into the daily life, not to miss the opportunity to observe the mind wherever we are in whatever situation. I think, often commit a mistake when we separate our practice and our daily life. Because I often heard people saying that they don't have enough time to practice, or they cannot really progress because their time of practice is too short every day. This is when we have not yet unified our practice and our entire existence. When we enter into the Dharma enters into our life and mixes with our life like milk would mix with water, very difficult to separate later on. And once this is achieved, everything that we are doing becomes a part of the practice. And in our everyday life, we are meeting people, we are encountering situations, we are meetings, events, participating in the events, and every and each of these moments can be a part of practice. Sometime, I have little daughter, 4 years and a half, and she would just come at a moment, I have something else to do. And she asks a question, or she asks to tie the shoes, or to do whatever. And the first moment could be that, okay, well, it's not really the right time. And then the Dharma shows up in a way or find its way, and then the mind calms down. The energy is more present in the moment, and we take the opportunity both to express generosity by giving our time and patience, calming the mind. So we learn every little opportunity should be taken to increase our consciousness of the moment, to increase the six perfections. I think this is the only way to really change the mind, transform our mind for the better on our way to enlightenment. So this little, I would say.
Thank you very much. And I know that soon we will be discussing the Eightfold Path and right meditation. And if you like, I would be more than happy to welcome you back to talk about living meditation when we speak about that specifically. Because I feel you have many interesting things to say about that and could guide us into an integrated meditation practice.
Yeah, if it happens today, I can join. It will be with pleasure.
All right, thank you. So now let's take a second to settle in as we will be moving into our little meditation practice. Let us breathe deeply a couple of times. So oftentimes I guide a little body scan or a relaxation in the beginning, and I think you got the hang of it by now. So I won't do that today. I will leave you to your own devices to find a comfortable position, relax your body and mind, and then we can just start riding our breath with at least 25% of our attention while we remain conscious of what's going around us. And we can start our session. I'm gonna try and speak much less today. You can try and focus on the music. And the idea is to allow you to get deeper and deeper in you and to follow your breath farther out of your body and deeper within your body. So just go and anchor your attention to it. If you've ever heard of the scientist Pavlov, you will understand the importance of tying the attention to the breath. Since breathing is happening all the time, as you develop an habit of consciously breathing, breathing in turn will help you remain conscious at all times. So it works together in a cycle. All right, so just relax, feel the breath. And the refreshing breath in every little corners of your body. in your fingers, in your legs, in your arms. Feel the energy move up and down your spine. In your head. If you want, you can try a little yogic exercise that should help you feel the third eye. So it's quite simple. Just have your eyes half closed and look in front of you and cross your eyes to look at the tip of your nose. And as you do, pay attention to the sensation in your forehead, right between the brows. And you should have a sense there that there's a pineal gland behind. You should get a funny sensation. So it's actually quite nice as you breathe to focus on this sensation. Let us do that until the next bell. If the mind wanders away, bring back your attention to the breath. Remember the little trick: if you're thinking, just label it thinking and let it go. You feel, label it feeling. If you itch, label it itching. Don't follow any of these compulsions unnecessarily. They will just disappear. usual, in phase 2 of our meditation, we move towards Tonglen, our practice of exchanging with others, giving and receiving. So, today let us reflect about ignorance and how people that we know and love contribute to their own problems. People that we have spoken with, people to whom we have tried to explain in the past better ways, somehow don't get it. Let us realize how tragic that is. To be trapped in your own ignorance of the causes of the suffering. And then let us realize that we all do that to some extent. And whatever recurring problem in our life that we can identify is probably linked to something that we do or don't do that's allowing those circumstances to come about. And let us make that our meditation topic for Tonglen today. Let us think of a recurring challenge that we have and how much it made us suffer. And let's look at it freshly. How could we be contributing to that? What new strategies could we try? Maybe we already know those strategies. Maybe we already know exactly what to do. Then we might ask ourselves, why are we not doing it? Do we really want things to change, or are we just comfortable like this? Feel how truly important it is to resolve that situation. Feel it completely and then give yourself the means to resolve it. Only once you can transcend your own ignorance will you be able to help people with theirs. Let us breathe in the existing situation and breathe out the change that we need. those sounds, please make sure that you are mute during meditation. Do not forget to ride your breath with your attention. Then if you want, you could think back on those loved ones and reflect on what would be the most skillful way to help them. What language would they understand? Or maybe what they would understand is a warm attitude, a hug, or some silent time with you. Think of how best it is to communicate with that person that you love and that is suffering from their destructive patterns. You can make a parallel and think of what's the best way for yourself to communicate with yourself as well. Are you condemning yourself inwardly? Or are you treating yourself with gentle care and respect? Breathe in all the love that you need to do a great job for yourself and others. Now we are ready to begin the third phase of our meditation, which, as you know, is Vipassana and a preparation to living meditation. So I feel like doing something special today just to illustrate what living meditation is. I know that a lot of you quite enjoy the music, and that is why I am turning it off. A big part of our sanity as human beings is to deal with the content of our mind when it's loud and negative. We tend to go crazy when we are understimulated and left alone with our thoughts because we are not used to that. Probably feel like something is missing right now. Everything got awfully quiet. And I want you to use the rest of the time to deal with your own craziness. Observe what the mind is going to do with that silence. See on what trips it takes you. See if you can maintain the attention on your breath. And just study what happens the day you are the subject. On that, just breathe until the next bell. All right. It's definitely done. um, you can all unmute yourself. And let me ask you this simple question. Which of the three segments was the longest?
The last
The
one for
first.
sure.
Last one.
Yeah. So the last one for more people is what I hear, right? Because less stimulation, the conscious of time increases, which is a way of feeling more alive, I guess. Time passes more slowly when you're quiet and alone with yourself, with your thoughts. Kind of a nice little trick to extend your life. What do you think?
What a quality of life.
Yeah. Imagine if with just 10 minutes a day you can increase your life 2 hours every day, because that's how it feels. All right. So, what else did you feel in that little part? And what did you notice in your mind? Anything interesting?
Felt like dreaming. So
Yeah,
you
like
just
you
pick a
were not
spot
really in
and
charge.
you. No. Just let
Like
it
the mind
wander.
is, yeah, the mind is doing its own thing, huh? Wandering around.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else relates to that?
It's kind of like
Yeah, a bit.
a rubber
Yes,
band.
Spacey Dash.
Like your mind drifts and then you keep trying to pull it back. So it's sort of like expansion and a contraction.
How did you feel kind of your being going larger and smaller?
Hmm.
Yeah, I can do that, especially when focusing on the breath. It's actually what is. Oh yeah. I guess it was buried in you for some reason. That's interesting. So if you get a star, yeah, Mario Brothers star, that's enlightenment actually. I tell you so you recognize it. All right. Yeah, so that's what's interesting, right? This was a very short 10 minutes experience and we've had meditative manifestations happening to us. A rubber band, dreams, even Mario Brothers, it's and then stretching of time. Our mind can do amazing things. And meditation is just beginning to know it. When you begin to meditate, you really start knowing yourself from the inside out. Because these things don't happen only when we meditate, they happen all the time while we're working, while we're living, while we're dreaming. We're just not conscious of it because that's not where we put our attention. So as you bring meditation in your life, you will notice that you wander away. You will notice when you daydream. You will notice when you are feeling removed from the room, or maybe when you're too involved in it. And this is where meditation really starts impacting and changing your life, as Rinpoche was explaining earlier. Because as you notice that, you won't always agree with what you're actually doing unconsciously. These are also the mind patterns that can lead us towards addiction, or lead us towards a fight, or lead us towards any unwholesome habit that we have. So it is indeed a powerful tool. I'm happy to see many Many new names, even many new old names, people that have been part of the group but did not attend in the beginning but are just now doing it. So who's here for the first time? I know Casper, you are Pure Space. Spacey Dodge, is this your first session or you were there last time, I think?
Oh no, it's the first time now.
Oh, wow, okay. So I must have seen you on the channel or something because your name was already very
Yeah, I've been
familiar.
on Discord.
Yeah. Stasia, I think is the first time that you attend, am I right? Yeah. Stasia Pierco? Okay, maybe she's away. Wandering Chew, first time? So, what did you guys think? How did you like this first session for what you've seen of it?
It's very different from any other VR experience I've had for sure. I've gone to a couple of meditations in alt space, but this is much better.
Oh,
Fantastic.
thank you. Yeah, still the place to find everything.
Yeah.
How about you, Casper? You like? Do you enjoy yourself? Yeah. All right. Thanks. And you want to say a word, Pure Space? All right. All right, that works.
You have a lot of
Thank you.
silent Buddhists.
Yes, yes. That's good. As we said earlier, actions speak louder than words. So somebody's throwing money. That's yeah. We need a donation box somewhere. All right. So Stasia, are you back with us? I was curious. I was asking if that was the first time you joined us, actually. Uh, maybe she doesn't have a microphone. All right, so Julia, if you will, join me for the dedication and then we can adjourn. And all
Let
rise, please.
For the benefit of beings without exception, I dedicate without any reticence whatsoever all the merit accrued through virtuous acts to the incomparable expanse of totality.
Thank you, Julia. All right, so for those whose first time it is, hope you remember before whom you came. I'm gonna exit the shrine and just follow whoever you followed in out.
Yeah, me too, because I came last.
Just come
Or
on,
I can go
anybody, it
down
doesn't
if
matter.
anyone. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If it doesn't matter.
Please, Julia-sama, after you.
I guess you can go out.
Are you all right,
I will.
Alex-san?
She's been stuck there for ages, I guess.
Perhaps I can
All
sleep
right, so
around my
that's
on the
normally the
nest.
signal that we can all resume talking, and that's the
Yes.
social part of the meeting. Those who want can stay. We like to take a little. We like to take a little walk.
I have to rejoin the walk because I'm a bit laggy.
Okay. So yeah, not much to see today, except that we have activated the mirror in the gym. So if you haven't seen the gym yet, or feel like seeing that, that's where I'm gonna head. For the new ones, I'm gonna carry on walking a little bit farther so that you guys understand what this world is about. And then, well, if you have any personal questions or whatever, meanwhile, I'll be happy to speak with you. Hey, Kiansa, how's the new VR gear? Is it better? Is it better than
Hi.
PC?
It is epic. If I may speak in modern
How
terms.
how is this
Oh.
world for you?
Yeah. There are no words to describe how wonderful it is.
Great.
But yes,
Great.
oh, hello, Mars.
Hello.
But yeah, I'm getting used to these controllers here, so please forgive me if I'm sitting crooked or doing something incorrectly.
Yeah, I thought so. I think you have some knee sensors or something.
Well, come here.
She's beautiful
Well,
anyway, Mr. Sim.
yeah. So she's
So
gonna
happy
get
you
used
could
to it.
come. Yeah.
Hey, Karl, just on a side note, something's wrong with our video player. We'll have to have a look on this. I sadly could not present your beautiful booth because of that. So I please check the Discord, guys.
He sounds Dutch.
Share.
Is he Dutch?
Karl.
Karl Kronen.
Oh.
Or...
No. But Kronen is actually German.
Oh. Oh yeah, Karl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your name also sounds. Oh, Kronen. Ah.
The king.
Same bloodline somewhere.
So if you want to discover a little bit.
Did anyone see where my senpai goes? She just disappeared like and poof. She was sitting
Here
next
he
to
is.
me and then
Here he is.
she back?
Oh,
Right
no,
in front
I'm
of
here.
me.
My friend.
Emma, you're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
She was
I don't know
sitting
what
next to me and like poof,
Oh my
she
god.
does. That
she just
I think
crashed.
she
There's a lot of
her
people.
meditation is very powerful, and she went out in a puff of smoke and
Hello
she died.
there, you devilish rogue, you.
Exactly.
She is on the clouds.
Yeah, can be, can be. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
fixing
oh,
something
I'm
instead.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so
Uh,
uncultured.
Mr. Sim here,
It's
what
my
about
fault.
you, Mr. Sim?
Is this person alive over here? Hello, Alice?
We
You
can make a
there? You
hug, our
alive?
group hug.
Hello!
I think hugs are
I am
healthy.
here because I saw you were
Let's go,
on my
let's
friends
go.
list.
In,
And I
in
wanted
VR we
to...
can now,
I
so.
like you so much.
Yes, okay.
Zenkei is
let's
in
do
the
it.
building for me. I'm not sure if he's
Let's do
actually there while
like
I'm lagging.
a test actually. Let's all go and stand in front of the mirror to see if it lags a lot in the
With
gym.
Corona we can, so.
Okay, okay. Let's go
Also,
explore.
Zenkei, I just wanted to
Wait,
ask
maybe
you
some,
something
maybe my room
well,
already ready? Maybe
not
the
the first
cafe is
situation
ready
that's
for
happened exactly just like this, for me at least. Um, my group's moving on. So what are you guys doing here? What's going on?
I'm just looking at worlds, really. What about you?
Oh, I'm just going through my friends list right now, just seeing people on my friends list who I don't know, joining them randomly and seeing what shenanigans I can get into.
Nice.
Nice indeed, nice indeed. I've got like fucking thousands of people who I don't fucking know on my friends list, and I don't know what the fuck to do.
After a while, I just delete them.
But it's so slow to delete them one by one.
Yeah, I wish they had like a button or something to make it like delete a certain section.
Oh, that would be so comfortable.
I know, right?
By the way, is it normal for people to hear themselves around you?
Sometimes.
Oh, because I can hear myself perfectly from your microphone whenever you're talking and I'm talking. Or like whenever you're unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll turn it down.
Oh, it's fine. It doesn't bother me that much. At least it's not some microphones where it's extremely loud. Yours is at least somewhat quiet, you know?
Right. Is that better?
Hello, hello, hello? Yeah, I can't hear myself at all anymore.
Nice.
Oh no, I can't hear my voice.
You wanna hear your voice?
No, that would be I fucking hate my voice.
By the way, your mic does it too.
What? No! Why? Fate, what have I done? Yeah. You're the first person to actually tell me that, though.
Oh, being honest.
Just be honest. I'm not easily offended, don't worry.
That's good.
Yeah,
Unless
Zenkei
you
is sitting
hit
here for me. I'm not sure
a
why.
specific part of my heart, then I might cripple on the ground. Sad. Oh no.
Please don't do that. I feel
What?
sad.
Anyways, Casper, take a look around.
Cripple on the ground, sad.
No, if you cry, I'll cry.
No.
There's all sorts of things.
I am tough. I am very tough. I have the nerves of steel, a man with steel nerves. Cannot make me cry. I don't cry. I've never cried in my entire life. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, this is a shader for like a fancy mirror coming in and out. Yeah, optimization is my main task in this world. As a developer, I'm trying to do all that.
There is a mirror here. I was correct. Thank you, you devilish rogue. Oh, great. Now we can look at our anime avatars.
Yeah.
I always found it strange
Okay, hold on. I'm going to rejoin the vault, see if this fixes the issue. Oh my god, he's still here. Zenkei's sitting here for me. He's not anywhere else. I'm not.
You can see yourself, you can see everybody else. Cool. I understand that.
Right.
Well, it makes it easy, you know. It's like watching.
So, that was interesting. That kind of experience over there that you just had is going to be in each of these different buildings, and they're each going to have their own teacher and instructor for different activities. This world is about. Yeah, that's all it's about. Taking something with it. I also was gonna tell Starry about it at some point. I think she might enjoy it as well.
I think there's 4 floors in there. If I was counting right, I think there's
It
4.
could be. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's
There's
about right.
smaller
I
one.
also
Oh,
see
it's
it was
funny
about.
that your eyes and eyebrows are moving when you talk.
I
Oh.
know.
They
Are
are
they?
open, and when you talk, you go a little bit angry. Looks like it.
Oh.
Little
Yeah.
It's
serious.
emotes. It is emotes.
You're serious, yeah.
In fact, in the beginning, this monk looked like a killer monk. I had to do a lot of ask for a lot of modifications for.
And this
You
is
have
gonna be
put
the
like
gym for the gym
killer
activities.
evil eyes. I said,
And
I'm
horns.
there
No.
I'm
Would be
there to
fun if
talk
you could
about
actually.
compassion and helping
Yeah, it would
people,
be fun if you
and
could
I
like
don't
run on
want
the
them to
treadmill.
destroy my avatar.
Right.
That's amazing.
Well,
Oh yeah.
it's nice to have
Oh,
you
go
guys. You
ahead
have a
then.
good group, and to my surprise,
Yeah.
Rinpoche was back today, so it looks like he's going to be a regular. I'm happy about that.
Mm.
And we're
That's
working
pretty
on getting
good.
other. We're working on getting other recognized masters to join us. A couple of resident ones. That would be quite a privilege.
Heike? What?
now, and so I know that
I will try
people
to do it.
will
The
enjoy
only issue
working
I
with you as
had,
well.
yeah,
graduated
the
from
only
called
issue I
Keisha
had
Gold.
was that
So
when
I'm
there's
going
more
to
people
be
around, I
adapting
kind of
that
start
to
like
VR chat
crashing every
as
now
it
and then. You
relates to
probably
VR chat.
saw that I had
Plus
to like
my own
rejoin the vault a
education,
bunch
I'll
of
be
times.
putting that
And
in
I think that
references
caused
from
it
my
that you were
college
stuck for me.
libraries.
Like most of the time,
And
I
so
just
I'm
saw
going
you
to
stuck in the
completely
corner.
redo the whole
So that's my
website
only
that
issue
No,
this
we've all
internet.
graduated from.
well,
So it
this
was an
bug, I know
online
exactly what's
university
causing it.
basically
Not
for
the crashing, but
Oh.
the
geisha.
me stuck,
And so that's
and
about
it's
as close as we can get
VRChat wide bug.
when you
It's
are
the
not
chair bug.
Japanese
If
and you
you
cannot,
come into a world
go
and
into a
Guys,
real
somebody is
okia.
sitting in a chair when you come in,
So
they're
we have
forever
our
stuck in
our
that chair.
version of it in our
You may
education
move in
system
the
here in
world, they may
America.
follow you, but they will be invisible, and they
So
are
what
Nice.
I
kind of
do
froze
is when
in
I
the
do
spot that
give them
they were when
recruits
you
and
entered.
they
That's
seem
a
like they're going to
stupid
be
bug. It's
serious, and it's
probably
going to take about 2
synchronization,
months to
but
get through all the
somehow
lessons.
VRChat is not solving it,
One
although
thing,
they're
if you do
very
good
aware of it.
footwork online, then I will
Now,
bring this
when
into
I
the world
teach,
and we will go over the lessons,
usually
and
I
then
put
I will
all my
show them basically,
performance
how
options
to make
like at
self-teas
max.
and how to
So I
present them.
disable
So
everything
it's
I can
part
because
in-world learning and it's also
people
part
used to come with.
bookwork.
I saw
It's
like
a
a
lot
two
of
million
bookwork.
polygon
So
avatar
we
once.
will have to have a very
Yeah.
serious and solid
So
commitment.
it's if there are 20 of them,
or maybe
that's
No,
kind
you
of
don't
dangerous.
graduate.
So I reduced my settings, but you know what? Thanks to
and
your
maybe you can make a
optimization
fun
today, I did nothing,
section for
and for me it
people
was
who
very
just
smooth.
want to have fun.
So
Oh, this time it was
Not
better then.
announce the
Okay.
things, but like in
oh
fun
yes,
That's
there
good to
was a
know.
way.
big
So you can
difference.
just have
Yeah.
fun with hairstyles
No,
and the
almost no
kimonos and
lag
the
even with my
yakemonos and have
ODR
some and like
overlay, which also kind of takes a little bit of
maybe
extra juice.
wear one
No, everything's
Oh,
synced today, so
well, the
I
website
guess
is
you did a
open for
great job
anybody
about
that would
that.
like to
That's
go
really
to
good.
it. It's called
That's really good. I'm
geishagold.com,
glad.
and it was
Now
written
I saw
by
that the gym
students.
is laggy, but it's not optimized either,
So
so
I
we'll
anybody
be
know,
who
but
able
would
to
even
do
log on
something
and
Yeah.
take
about
the
that.
Two
lessons.
things. Two things. I
Oh, what
thought
makes
that
you
the
I
think
mirror
know,
over
that?
there was
but
local, but it
Why do you
wasn't.
have that
But
precognition?
I've made
Yeah.
sure that the trigger is local, so I don't know
I
what
Maybe you're
happened
naturally
there.
like
jumping
to
Also,
ahead.
read.
the video player, is it the
Oh,
first
I
time
Yeah,
you
see.
maybe
tried to
I'm
use
lazy.
it?
I don't know.
Well,
No,
I don't
I
like to
used
read
it
that's
much.
before.
pretty
I
much.
don't
I like
understand
to
why
draw
people can
and
see the image.
Well,
The
that's
only
what
thing I can
functional
think
light is
of is
for.
that I was alone with Julie in the world
Again,
when I loaded
my
the
first book
URL,
that I bought.
so I
I
thought
bought a book. Whoa.
maybe I need to load it when people
Whoa.
are
no,
Yeah.
in
I
here
do
so
the
that it
reading in real life,
synchronizes
but I
them.
don't like the
But
online reading. When I'm in
I
front of
tried
the screen,
reloading
I
and it
don't want
didn't work.
to
So
read
in
books.
the
I
end, I
want to
just
like play
gave up.
games, draw
Well, that's
Yeah.
what
digital
Okay.
tea house
art or
nights are
something like.
for.
Yes, it
Yeah.
You'll
does.
get that
Definitely.
when you come to the tea house nights.
Hmm.
It's
I
it's the
really
fun
waiting for it.
Yeah.
entertainment
Really
night.
waiting for it.
True.
Yes. Well, if you go around the corner there and you go over the bridge and you make a sharp left and you make your way through the bamboo
Yeah, but
forest, you'll
well,
see
I
a
don't
little
know.
house
Sometimes it
back
works very
there.
well, and
So it's sort
sometimes
of a
video players are
secluded
just all
little
broken.
hidden tea house.
Mhm.
The,
So I'm just
the way that
basically
they
waiting
update their
for
technology
Karl and
is a bit
time to
mysterious
get
to
that
me.
furnished, and then
It
I can
doesn't
start
seem so
opening up
well planned
Hosea
most of
nights.
the time.
And then as I
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
log in during daytime,
It
like on
sadly
my lunch
isn't
break or
as good as it
whatever,
should
I
be.
can do a half
So,
hour session
do you also
dedicated.
want to show the booth to
So, but
people,
everything
or
will
did you
fall into
just send a
place
video
at
of
the
it?
right time. So
I
we
will
will make
send a
the grand
video now when
announcement
I
when we're
disconnect
ready
so that
to
people
go.
can load the little video I sent you,
Mm.
right?
I will wait
Nice.
because it's
And
it's
otherwise,
really
it would
boring
have
to
been
read a lot
more
of
fun
books
to watch.
and
But
stuff like that. Like
if you find out what's
somewhere
wrong with our video
Well,
player,
around
if there's
people.
let's
anything wrong
give
with
it a
our
try
video player,
first.
I will try playing it for tonight's
Yeah.
session.
Give
We
it.
Best for
we
me.
have
You
about the
Okay.
same quantity of different
have you
members
seen
at
me
night,
today
so
trying to
maybe
read a
I'll
book?
succeed in
I
showing
will it.
some of them live.
Mm.
Actually
Well,
failed.
I will take a look at
I'm
it.
half and half
Since you
actually.
said
I'm more of a
it already
hands-on
worked
learner,
before,
and I'm like right
in the
should
Yeah,
just
middle.
be
it did
the
work,
issue
So I
and
in
for
can
this
do a
me,
little
instant.
bit of that,
for
and
me, it
then I
was
will
working very
concentrate
well
so
too.
much,
I
and then
really
I
don't know
have
what's
to
going on.
go in world and do
But
it
I
with
will
my
definitely
hands,
fix
or
that
back
button
in
that is global over
the
there. That
other
shouldn't be
virtual
like that.
chat, we had pose balls, so we click on the ball and suddenly we animate. So it
All
was
right.
really kind of a cheat.
So
You just have to
I
sit
think
back and
people are
relax
trying
and
to
just
reach
let
me. I will
the
just
animation
disconnect
do
for
all the
now,
heavy
Okay.
and
work.
let's be in touch
But
See
through
you
here,
again,
Discord,
Zenkei.
Carl.
you
Yeah,
actually are
All right.
I
doing
will.
it in real life.
Ciao.
And
Thanks for
I
coming.
Take care.
decided to take the challenge.
Nice to meet you,
Um,
Casper. Yeah.
it will be very interesting to have my hands on
Yeah, so that
those
was Zenkei.
tea set utensils.